from violence, like as an
I've
author.
heard.
And
I've heard there's one specific chapter that is like scarring to read.
yeah,
You
it's
know what I'm
okay.
talking
Like
about?
again, I'm all good. I'm all good with some dark stuff in books. Like if one day if you get around to reading like the my Substack book, my wife, like, she read it and like she was getting through the prologue, and like I described some of like what's going on. This lady starts out in the prologue and she catches the disease, and so I'm describing the sores breaking open and like stuff that's going on physically with her, and it's verging. So I don't feel like it was gratuitous necessarily, but to embody yourself in something that is awful can be mentally stressful, and it should be. And so I don't shy away from that stuff. Like I like it, but the only conflict that I don't know who the antagonist is right now. So we're, I mean, just
How
from a
far into the book are you?
writing or I transitioned back to talking about Katabasis, where I'm
Oh.
saying through six, we know who the antagonist. The antagonist is introduced in the prologue, and so that's like the prologue is from the point of view of the antagonist, and then the book launches from the main character, who's a girl and who's very much like Alice in this book. Like I felt a little bit. I'm like, oh man, like I did I copy her? Like I didn't even realize that I copied her. Um, but they're like real similar from like an academic pursuit standpoint. Um, and
Needs to be institutionalized.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know if my character would have like sacrificed half of her life. Hey, Dylan, we're just testing
The
some of the
things.
things.
Do we want to try to invite him?
Yes, I do want to try and invite him.
Dylan, can you be our willing victim for a second?
Um, so how do I stay on, Dylan, so I can invite you, dude? Because
Don't leave.
we need to
We're
test
troubleshooting.
this. Yeah, we need to test this, and I'm trying to get total viewers. He's joined.
Katabasis is a standalone, right? It's not a series.
I hope not. Cause
I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. I'm pretty sure. I haven't heard anything about a sequel coming, so. Also, I don't know like what the sequel would be if they're already going into hell, unless they don't make it out by the end. I guess we'll find out.
So I added him. I'm pretty sure it's a standalone. It's got to be a standalone. Okay, so
It's gotta be.
I'm gonna go multi-guest now. Usually over on the right, whenever I can add somebody, Dylan, if you can see a request to join button on your side.
Or anyone that's watching. Anyone can be our victim.
Yeah, we would love anyone to request.
We don't know what we're doing.
We're working hard to try and
I love
get
how
co-hosting and some guests on here.
I love how you tell me I'm the system AI, but I really feel like you are at this point.
No. I've gotta get everyone's perception that
You're
in
the
charge.
showrunner of the system AI.
I don't. I want someone else to be in charge. On my side. It says
Bro.
joined and say hi. But it shows him.
Yeah,
as-
I can like click into it. Let me see if it'll let me invite someone. I'm really shocked that I can't find like a concrete answer anywhere. Like, can you co-host and do multi-guest at the same time?
Support is trash on so many levels. You can't ask them any questions. They're awful about responding with AI. And so that's been. Is it not letting you multi-host? because
No, when I go over to hover over the invite button, it just has the error button, like it won't let you.
so you have to. It's got like limitations on people who are just doing live streams, and it's between 2 and 10 live streams of more than 25 minutes, and it grays out certain features. One of the features that I was hoping would be ungrayed out is my ability to pull your TikTok live into a co-host feature where I have you in my screen with me, but it's still grayed out because it has me in toddler mode, and you know it's part of it, I guess. So we'll work through this as I don't know
Okay.
that Dylan's on anymore.
I don't think he is.
Maybe that's why it's not letting me co-host. You know, because it's
I guess there's Have you looked in the multi-guest settings?
yes.
Nothing in
bunch
there
of
that would. Okay.
I believe that there's a few things with multi-guest and with the other for TikTok Studio that until you get off the introductory mode, and there's no online support articles that address what exactly. It's like, just figure it out. If it doesn't work, I'm not going to answer your email.
Bro. I know, I was looking through like YouTube tutorials to see if anyone has tried to do this before, and nothing.
It's amazing that a feature like this has that much of an issue, but
That surprised me as well. I feel like TikTok Live is such a popular thing now. There would be more expansive information on it,
at
you would
least
think.
some smart person that got on there and explained it to everyone else how to be smart like them. So anyway, go, because I know I'm not going to get that much time to talk about this chapters 1 through 6. So I'm actually like happy to have you held hostage right now so that I can.
I mean, I'm free. It's a holiday.
Yeah. So one of the things that I was told that needed to happen in a book whenever you started out is you need to know who you're rooting for, you need to know who you're rooting against very early in the campaign. Like, you know, chapter 1, chapter 2, you need to have somebody that you don't like, somebody that you do like, and it just signals to the reader what they're supposed to do as they go through the book. And the other thing that you're supposed to do is signal what type of book it's going to be, and you need some sort of hook that's exciting. So some of the reviews online said that by skipping the event, the inciting incident, and keeping it off page, they were able to get from where they were at into hell faster. And I guess, yeah, that's true-ish.
Ish.
But how many words in there of just her explaining how the academic world worked and, you know, trying to set up this attention competition that the professor had set up between her and, you know, the forced proximity, enemies to lovers, romanticy, you know, like.
I know, the romanticy girly in me is like, oh, I didn't know there was going to be
they
this
have
kind
to
of plot
share a
in there.
blanket. She got poked in the thigh. That was quick. But you know, they apparently had another they were like some sort of like relationship. I feel like, you know, where there's like tension already in that, or like a level of being comfortable. But there is like some middle school romance going on in this deal where, you know, but I don't mind. I'm okay. I think romance, I'm the guy who loves romance in a book until they consummate it. And then, like, as soon as, like, because all of this, you know, are they or aren't they that's going on, you know, has resolved itself. And, you know, that there's, in certain books, it does a good job keeping people apart and reasons why they stay apart, like Red Rising, for example, the Mustang relationship. Like, you read Red Rising, right? Or no? Oh.
It's on the list.
So,
I know. I need to read it because I know pretty much all of you guys in our little crew has read it. So
read it. Yeah. It makes me
I need
mad.
to catch up.
It making you feel mad about what happens. And, like, it's I've never had an author that make and not mad at him as the author. I'm mad at the people
Mad
in
at the
the
characters.
series. I'm mad at the characters. I'm mad at what happens to the characters. I feel mad that like my blood pressure is high the whole time I'm reading these books.
You're
And
thinking about it at like 3 a.m.
no, I'm shutting the book and setting it aside and saying, I've got to come back to this because I'm pissed. Like, I can't, like, I've got to take a break because I'm sitting here mad. I almost quit in book 3 because I was mad. But, you know, I'm not going to give you any spoilers on why. I already got yelled at on TikTok for one of my things where I insinuated, I didn't outright say something, but I kind of insinuated. It was fair to get mad at me. But,
I mean, meh.
so we know, chapter 6, do you know who the antagonist is? It's not the professor.
Like the Lord, I don't even remember his name, the final boss of hell.
But they've said,
Maybe?
like,
I don't know.
Lord Yama.
Yeah.
And
But that's just a guess at this point. Like, we don't have any information to indicate that he would be a primary antagonist necessarily.
well, they say that most people, if they're able to get to Lord Yama, are sent on their way from hell because he would prefer not to have them there because they don't belong. And at least that's a lot of this is unreliable sources because apparently hell manifests itself differently for each person. So you look at Dante and he had his experience in hell, and you look at the different people who have described hell or going through hell as philosophers who are taken as primary sources who actually did it in the speculative fiction portion of the book. And you get slices of truth, but you're not sure if they're reliable sources. And so we don't know the actual nature of the forces, just that the forces exist and will interact in some way that's unique to the person walking through hell. But I don't think that we've seen the primary antagonist, and apparently there are two like angry primary antagonists that I was watching one of those YouTube videos earlier, and they said that, and I hit pause real quick because I didn't want to get
Spoiled.
but there are antagonists. We're in chapter 6 and we don't know who we're fighting against. And I don't know that we're going to fight anybody. Like, is there going to be violence in this book?
I don't know. I mean, I hope so. I feel like it would be very boring without. And now that they've somewhat explained magic a little bit. Like,
okay, so, like, chalk. We do magic with... Do you have any clear understanding of what magic does in this book? Through chapter 6. Other than it
Not
can
yet.
make a gate to hell.
drawing pentagrams. Making delusions. Twisting reality. But, like, not
What do you mean
fully
twisting
explained
reality?
as to
Like,
what that means.
There's no... it's basically said that the field of magical study in this... Again, we're going into the speculative portion of the 1980s if magic were real. It's basically an academic pursuit with no function or commercial purpose.
Yeah.
Like,
Job market sucks.
The job market sucks. No one wants to hire a musician. We're basically, and no offense to the anthropologists in the world, but we got an anthropology degree, and the only thing that an anthropologist can really do is work for a electric company or someone who digs and do the archaeology to determine if they're on like some ancient burial site, or they can go work for a university. And the teaching positions are very competitive because they're very limited. Because that's the only job you can get with that major track.
Did you read Name of the Wind? I can't remember if you said you did.
Patrick Rothfuss is...
Do you have beef with him?
He did like a fairly sizable GoFundMe style Kickstarter something or other for Name of the Wind, like, or Door of Stone, sorry. The third book.
Well,
like
Wise
6
Man's
years
Fear was
ago.
the second one, and then there's a couple
Door of
novellas, I
Stone.
think.
Door of Stone is supposed to be the third one that everyone's waiting for to finish the trilogy. And he took money from people, like crowdfunding,
6 years ago for the third
like
one?
a long time ago. And everyone's
What
pretty,
is this man doing right now?
I mean, I write, and like I'm not saying that people can't get writer's block, and I feel like Rothfuss, I feel like Scott Lynch, and I feel like George R. R. Martin all wrote such good books that it's very scary to them to release the what should be the finishing of the series, because like Scott Lynch apparently has written the entire Thorn of Emberlin book. Like it's 100% written. He's just scared to release it. Like he hasn't greenlighted releasing it. It's drafted, and I want that book. Like
Good
I
or bad,
wanna
just
know,
give it to me.
Well, and like I had a TikTok post about this where I said, if Matt Denneman can write a 700-page book based on Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon,
Matt be cranking them out.
like, well, I'm just saying, like, we liked that book because we liked the characters and we want to be told a story. And
Yeah.
like, don't worry about the Hugo Award. Don't worry about like some literary, you know, my literary, what's the legacy? You know, I'm not worried about my legacy, and that's where R. R. Martin's at. Everyone's been kind of about whether or not how that was supposed to end. He's like, no, I have very little to do with writing that last season. I thought that last season did the right thing, but way too fast. You can't take somebody that everybody loves, and everybody loved Khaleesi. Like everybody loved Khaleesi. Like on a level.
Did you watch House of the Dragon 2?
No, I'm still
Oh!
mad about.
Well,
first
you
one.
should, because there's definitely a reference that signifies Daenerys' importance, and it just makes me even angrier about how Game of Thrones ended. But whatever.
You're not making me want to watch it. Like, you know,
It's cool. The
I read
dragons
the
are
books.
so cool.
I read the books, and I like the books. And you go to the and I feel like it's fine. There's precedent set all across the books for any Targaryen to look extremely promising in their youth, and if they don't have brown hair, they go batshit crazy. And that's which one hasn't that happened to? Like anyone who gets in charge that's a Targaryen ends up kind of burning everyone down if they have the distinct Targaryen features. And so it makes sense to me that she would do these things, and it makes sense to me that she would be angry, but we go from a mode in watching her in 2 or 3 episodes go from I'm the breaker of chains to I'm
losing all the morals she stood upon.
Yeah, it just didn't. There wasn't enough development in her descent into insanity for it to be believable on
Agreed.
on page.
I would have been a lot more accepting if it was stretched out over time and she had like these major moral conflicts and started making different decisions.
Yeah, like you start.
But yeah,
seeing,
it was
like,
just too fast.
I mean, it's just
too
we
much.
we get to King's Landing. It's like, you know, screw it, burn them all. Like, you know, and that's where it hurt John's character because it made him seem very quick to betray her. And had he watched her descend into madness, and then everybody and all the advisors and everyone who's involved is like, hey, you know, did you see that? Because that was a little weird, you know. Because you loved Khaleesi, you know, and
I like them both.
They needed you to want to break a relationship divergence that everybody had with that character and then had to lose with that character. They didn't go through the breakup with the fan base, and that's the everything else about how that ended was thematically on point. This is grimdark. It's supposed to suck. Nobody's supposed to make the world better. Like, and like whenever you get into grimdark, the difference between dark fantasy and grimdark is that dark fantasy is like the world sucks, but there's a chance that we can make it better. In grimdark specifically, the world sucks and will continue to suck because it's grimdark. It doesn't ever get better. Like
It's
like
true.
we're operating in a bad
I
world.
love a happy ending.
Okay,
I also, since we're talking about Game of Thrones, I absolutely freaking hated that they made Bran king. Like, I stopped caring about Bran like 5 seasons before that. And at this point, like, they did this whole Jon Snow's a Targaryen reveal. And now, like, okay, I kind of don't like him.
And no one will put a dark-haired Targaryen on the throne, which every time we see one, Baelor, I loved the dark-haired Targaryen in Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Like, another, like, real good, solid would have been, frankly, Stannis Baratheon would have been a better king than anybody. He would have been very severe, but he would have been a lot more fair and a lot more on point than being like a drunken warmonger that, is, cuckolded by your wife's brother, just very not aware of what's going on in his life. Like, Stannis wouldn't have done that. So it's another, and he was technically, I think, he was, I don't know, was Stannis, what was I reading? I was reading like a who would have been the best king type book, or like analysis of this, and they were looking at Stannis and like making the case that, outside of it, but both he and Ned Stark had the problem that they were too Ned Stark with his sense of honor, that you have to be at least a little bit compromising to be, play the Game of Thrones, basically. Otherwise, you just get murdered. Which,
in my head, I just like to imagine that Daenerys stopped listening to her stupid advisors and conquered it when she had her 3 dragons. When she was,
they have Targaryen babies, and she rules and breaks all the chains, and frees Westeros, and then
maintained, because I don't like to think about how it actually ended.
Thematically, though, Bran makes sense as the king. Because
I know he can see in the future.
He can kind of direct it. Like, he's the only one that could make the world better, but they don't see anything other than like him wheeling around in a wheelchair, and like we don't get like at 5 years later, hey, this actually worked out better for everybody, and the Targaryens and the dragons are gone, or whatever it is that happens. But there was a lot about how it ended. And they didn't intertwine the 2 climaxes with the Night King and what happened in King's Landing well, because, frankly, I felt like the overall plot of the book was less about who is king and more about, are we going to survive winter? But
I've only read the first book, so isn't the Night King not even a figment in the book? Is he?
You're talking about you were probably
long time ago?
Not even in elementary school when I read that.
What year? What year, be honest?
That would have probably been like 2005.
Yeah, I was 5.
Yeah, that's you're like in first grade when I read that book. So,
yep.
When did Game
long
of
time
Thrones
ago
come out? I'm gonna look at this.
So I'm assuming you watched the show like as it was releasing.
It came out in 2000. No, that's first episode. Game of Thrones, or A Song of Ice and Fire. Sorry, golly, they screwed up the branding in my head. of Ice and Fire come out? 1996.
Oh, that was before I was even
So,
alive.
A Feast for Crows came out in 2005. And then I think I read the series. I bet I'm not far off on that. It was around that 2005-ish mark whenever I read that series. And so, yeah, it was a hot minute ago. So my memory.
Did you watch the show as it came out?
Yeah, and
So
I
you got
liked
to
it.
experience the outrage collectively.
Oh, girl, yeah, I just watched it, and as soon as it happened, I knew. Like, I knew what they messed up. You did a 5-episode finale series, and it should have been 10. And if you'd have done it, and everyone would have watched all 10. It baffled me that HBO allowed the showrunners, because they wanted to go, was it Avatar? What did they want to go make? They were tired of making Game of Thrones. The two producers that were the directors, I don't know, whatever, the show makers that were working with the original context were tired of making Game of Thrones. Shocking.
That's crazy.
That they were bored with it. That's literally what they said. We're bored
So they
with
just
it.
rushed it.
They wrapped it up and they said, our schedule, we have commitments on this other project that we're doing, and we only have time to do it through this date, and so we only had this many episodes that we can make through this date. And so let's take probably one of the most valuable franchises in TV history, and it was baffling it was a betrayal. It was all of the bad things. They should have put Henry Cavill in charge, and he would have done it right. He'd have done it so right.
And cast him.
And yeah. I mean, I can see the appeal there.
Yes.
But and Henry Cavill is gonna be in Highlander, and I'm very much looking.
I'm definitely gonna watch that.
Did you watch?
Do you
the original
watch?
Highlander?
No. Should I watch that first?
I mean, it's a cult classic, like 80s, like punk 80s movie. It was so bad and so good all at the same time.
Like, oh, jeez.
it's. I'm so excited to see how they envision and how they bring up the new movie and how they do it differently, because I know they're going to do it differently, but I have high confidence that because Henry Cavill is part of the production, that it will be good.
Did you watch The Witcher?
I did until.
Did you watch the new one?
No.
I did. I did, but I'm glad I did. I wasn't sure if I was gonna, but I heard that it was focused around Yennefer a lot, and I love her so much. I watched it purely for her, and obviously Geralt was a blah miss, but still decent. It was an enjoyable watch.
If you hadn't had the perfect casting,
dude, so perfect.
And if he hadn't have done such a good job, and if the reason that you recast somebody else wasn't because you were lazy and didn't want to respect the source material as much as the showrunner did, and so all the reasons why they chose to change the casting of Geralt were the wrong reasons for the fan base. Like the fan base couldn't align themselves with why they changed the main character. Evening, Michael. Thanks for hopping in. We're doing like our pre-show for our Katabasis and Dungeon Crawl discussion that we're going to do at 6:15. We're testing.
Yeah.
And
we're just mainly talking about TV now.
Now we're just talking about things that we like to talk about. So if you
we'll be back
Game of Thrones or The Witcher, and you've got something you want to toss into the discussion right now, we're happy to hear about it, because we're talking about all the ways that fan bases have been screwed over by people not wanting to do it the right way, and the Witcher and A Song of Ice and Fire are two prime examples of betrayal.
Yes.
I won't even get into the Dark Tower series
Does
on
that have a screen
betrayals.
adaptation?
Oh, no. I'm not gonna say
No?
yes because it was so
Oh.
bad it doesn't count.
We shall not speak of it.
Matthew McConaughey and a Black Roland, which is not as bad as Black Snape. I have you heard all the stuff about like how racist it was to make Snape black of any of the characters that you were going to like?
No, but only because I'm not a Harry Potter girly.
Yeah, never ever gets it right. Hollywood doesn't get it right.
Rarely.
So
The only adaptation I like is Hunger Games.
Hunger Games was good. I like Hunger Games.
It was good. They got all the best moments. They cast the right people.
So the people on Harry Potter that Snape, there's an unreasonable fear of Snape. Like if you read the books, like Neville was scared of Snape, and he couldn't say why. Like and then they had a situation where Snape is accused of stealing stuff, and that was a big narrative driver where they're accusing Snape of stealing things, which reads differently when Snape is black and not in a good way. Altered Carbon. Wait.
Someone wants us to talk about Rings of Power. Did you watch it? I gave up on it after like 2 episodes. I was like, this is just not hitting. I don't want to waste my time on it. But I've heard other people say it gets better, but I'm not willing to invest that far.
It does. I have, so like right now, the problem that I have on consuming fantasy content is that there is not enough time to consume fantasy content. I'm reading 3 books right now. So like I'm writing 3 books right now, and I'm still trying to like keep up with. I haven't finished American Gods, and I like Neil Gaiman. Like I like his stuff. I liked the Dream stuff. That was like it was. He's an inventive mind. Stardust. I watched that with my kids. I love the Stardust movie. Robert De Niro was hilarious in that movie. So I like all of his. Good Omens was great. It's just very interesting. Yeah. Stuck on your second, yeah. Well, writing is one of those things where the narrative can work well and you write really quickly, or it can go slowly. So on working on 3, one of them is in editing. There's an author asking me questions, so we can't see each other's chats, which is hyper annoying and something.
There's got to be a way for us to just look at one chat.
Yeah, where we can
But
merge
again,
the chat.
we know that TikTok sucks, so
yeah,
maybe
super
not.
sucks because you're supposed to be like you're listed as a moderator on mine. Am I listed as a moderator on yours? But the one's finished in an editing, and I have my developmental edit appointment where I actually get to meet my super cool developmental editor who edited. She was part of the proofreading team that proofread Mistborn, which is pretty cool. She's over there in Utah with Mr. Sanderson, so she got to be on the proofreading team. But when it went to submission, because clearly I think that was his first, his breakout published novel, so it got edited before it went to the publisher, and of course the publisher's editor gets credited on the book. But my developmental editor's actually in the credits for Mistborn, which is cool. So I'm excited about getting to meet her.
I added you as a moderator. Can you see all the comments now?
No.
I didn't think so.
I don't know. We'll probably have to get out and get back in for the
maybe
for tonight's. But we're at 53 minutes, and so I think that this should qualify me for the other thing. But it says it can take up to 48 hours to update
Oh,
TikTok's
well, in
system,
that
so
case.
I don't know if it will or won't, but if I'm not confident that we can multi-guest
And co-hosts, yeah.
and co-host. So
I'm gonna try. I don't know if I can join as a guest from Live Studio, but
because it shows
I
like
can't really moderate on my phone.
I'd invite Michael because I've got author Michael Castillo on here, and I'd invite him to join and to add to the discussion, but couldn't change your multi-host settings. So I don't know that we're probably gonna have to do the thing again, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, Kana, that next week, if it takes me off of the training wheels, hey Michael, if you want to hop back on, at 6:15, we've got spots open on our spots open on our
That's true, we do.
panel. We've got, I don't know if you're a Dungeon Crawler Carl fan, but I invited another creator that he's read. He would fit right in our little book club. What do you think's our limit for people on book club? Kana, like, do we just add like 50 people to it and whoever could show
I thought
up
the
could
limit
show?
was 8.
Yeah, on who, like,
Right?
on who,
Or like in the chat, not in the live, you mean?
yeah, but like, on the chat, like, we'll just go, and if you and me,
Whoever
will
gets
host
there
it,
first.
whoever hops on, because people want to hop on and hop off, and we're not always going to be able to be there, but I think we could add them to the group chat, and I wouldn't mind.
Yeah,
if
I'm
there were
down.
more
Let's
people.
let's add more people if they want to join, for sure.
Yeah, we'll ask the group or think about it, but you're the AI,
More
so you make
victims
the
for the
rules.
cults.
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
If you haven't,
I like having this much power.
That's right. That's why I'm happy to live in the system. But if Michael hasn't read Cyberpunk, dude, this is our book club. Isn't about like writing. We don't talk about writing. I don't like self promote that much. I'll like slide in a couple of things here because I write on. I don't self promote that much.
I totally believe in some shameless self-promotion
Self-promotion.
when appropriate.
See, I need you to promote me, not me to promote me, because
I got you.
You're like way more. Well, you have to read it first, girl. Like you're not allowed to promote until
Yeah,
you
well, I can tell them how great it is, and then when I actually read it, then I'll be able to like add the details.
No. I don't want you to recommend something that you haven't read. Because what if it sucks and I'm a terrible author? There's that.
I doubt that.
There's the
I
potential
very
for that.
rarely am like, this is a terrible book, horrible writing. Like, it has to be really, really, really bad. And you strike me as someone that's read a lot and is intelligent, so I'm sure it's at least half decent.
Yeah, well, there are just so many more tools and feedback now that's available. Like, if you think back to what was available in 2007 or 2008, like, there's a lot more tools now than what there used to be, and so it's a good thing. That's why there are so many more people publishing books right now. So you had channels. So
yeah, a lot of self-publishing these days.
Self-publishing is a thing and will continue to be a thing. And I think traditional publishing is going to turn into a hybrid model for only hyper-successful self-publishers in the future, where they're going to offer print copies for how Matt Denman did it. That's what publishing is going to be in the future, where he hit it big, and you don't get to read a paper copy other than like an on-demand print paperback through like Amazon will do an book now. I'm not opening it. Like, I already read it. It's just to go on my shelves so that I could say I own the paper copy.
Yeah. I
own
own a lot of books that I haven't read yet. I'm just like, I might read that someday, but it looks pretty.
I own so many like older. I have to update my shelves because like my books. like you see a lot of Steve to the flea market to buy books on like the weekends, and so like they're all like
Nice.
beat up copies from the flea market, but I'll never get
They
rid of
have
them.
personality.
They have a lot of personality, but you know it's like I bought them with my brother and he's gone now, so like I'm keeping those old torn up, like you could see this copy of different seasons, and we're torn up on the edges, and it's they've been very low value now, but I want to buy I like on my wish list for like my paper copies. I want the whole Dungeon Crawler Carl set.
Same.
And I love his covers. I love the neon. I love the design. It's really
Andrew
good.
was it last week's live? Andrew was showing us all the special edition Dungeon Crawler Carls he has.
Oh, he was telling us about it. Yeah.
I need all of them. I gotta have it.
I don't know if I want this. Like, I'm good with just one solid set of the hardcovers somehow. And on the I want some of Sanderson's books. I read those. I need to reread them. I read them when he wrote them.
Same.
Oh
wow.
So
I read them like 2 years ago.
I remember.
I still don't remember everything from it, so I'm sure you don't.
Oh my gosh! I read Stormlight Archive. Starlight Blah. I read the Stormlight Archive when it came out, and
oh man.
And so I forgot who Lopin was.
The Lopin?
The Lopin. I mean, yeah, the Lopin. The Lopin. I just know I had a post. I had a 42,000 view post. That's like my number one.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. They're like 1,800 comments. And then I followed it. It's at 12,000 views right now. Where I said, name a character from a book who lost a body part that doesn't grow back, and that was like the guy, and I forgot who he was. Everyone kept calling him out, and I hadn't read that book in 15 years. And when did it come out? When did Stormlight Archive come out? Was it 10 years ago?
Golly, I don't know. Let me look it up.
It was. Feels like at least a decade ago.
So did you read Wind and Truth when it came out, and you were like so confused, or did you?
I didn't read any of Rothfuss. I've not read any of.
No, Wind and Truth, the last Stormlight book.
No,
did you read it?
I got to Rhythm of War and stopped. I didn't read
Rhythm
of War because I was waiting for Rhythm of War to come out and got distracted with other books and never came back. And so I have I haven't finished the series. And
Way of Kings came out in 2010.
Yeah. So that was 16 years ago.
I was a wee baby. Dude, you have to reread it and finish Wind and Truth. It's so good.
Well, I fully plan on it, but like I'm reading I'm going back through the Powder Mage trilogy. Have you read that?
Mm-mm.
Oh my god.
Fantasy, I'm assuming.
Brandon Sanderson is on the cover and the blurb saying it's awesome. And it's
well, I'll definitely read it.
Really good. Like the premise is it's like a flintlock fantasy, so like Victorian era, and that's like the era I like writing in. I don't really care what era I write in. It's just the era I've been writing in. But basically gunpowder is a drug, so they like snort it like cocaine. And then it puts them in like a state where they can affect the bullet and like where it goes and stuff like that. And so you have traditional like magic mages that shoot fire out of their hands and lightning bolts and stuff like that. But they can't shoot from very far away with their magic. It's got to be kind of around them. So you've got the powder mages against the traditional magicians, and the powder mage can shoot them from 2 miles away. So like the traditional magicians, when you're up close, are much stronger, but they're like a balancing group against each other. It's such a cool dynamic about
This sounds like a fun magic system.
Oh, it's such a great magic system, and like you can get addicted to the cocaine powder, and like then like you're sitting there, your nose is bleeding because you're sniffing too much powder, and like, but and there's a very slow burn romance that I'm I don't know where it's going. I'm in book 2. It's still tension.
How many books is it?
3. It's a trilogy.
Okay,
And,
that's doable.
It's doable, and it's a little dark. It's like the closest comp to what I write, frankly. Like it's very similar in tone and in the world and how the world feels, because it's kind of dark and gritty. I like it, and there's like multi-point of view. There's an investigative thing, like mystery, that works well. There's politics. It's way better than what I write. It's so good. Like it's underrated in the course of things, and so
God.
And so
dude, so many books.
I'm reading my 6-year-old a book from. It's like a middle grade book, but it's fantasy, called Casey. It's like about this character called Casey Grimes, and it's about like a 6th grader. And so I'm reading it to my 6-year-old, very into it. I'm practicing my audiobook narration, where I'm trying to do characters with my voice, and he's very entertained by it. And my wife hears me reading it, and she's like, "Oh my gosh!" Like, she's not into the fantasy genre, and she's like, "You're making a nerd," and I'm like, "You're dang straight."
You're welcome.
Like, yeah.
It's gonna be so smart.
It's gonna be so much fun.
I can't wait to have kids. I'm gonna start them on Brandon Sanderson as soon as possible.
You gotta work your way up through the love, and like it all starts with he's just now able to like read a book, where this book, it's not interesting in that I would read it by myself by any means, but me reading it to him, it doesn't feel like I'm reading Dr. Seuss, and I hate reading Dr. Seuss.
Oh my god, dude!
Reading Dr. Seuss to your kids makes you look dumb, because you're gonna say it wrong.
It makes you feel dumb. I mean, I don't have kids yet, but I was a nanny for a year, and they did like no screens, so this kid loved to read, and unfortunately, it was the worst books ever. I don't know how many times I read Goodnight Moon and wanted to jump off a bridge.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, talking about the uber sheltered life, one of my good friends grew up in his formative years as a Jehovah's Witness, and wasn't allowed to play musical instruments at all. And his dad was the guitar player for George Strait. And like as soon as he was able to touch does not.
Oh, because I said Goodnight Moon makes me wanna do X, Y, and Z. Did you get that warning too?
Yeah, don't be doing that. We got
son of a gun.
Angela was throwing down some bad language and got us metered.
Oh really?
A couple of weeks ago. Yeah, you got to be careful about putting
Dang, they be listening.
Oh, they're listening for sure. But anyway, the what were we talking about? Like that distracted me. Yeah. Fair enough. Well, I got enough time on my live where I'm getting credit for 2 of them today, so we'll go from there.
Let's hop on like 10 minutes before. I'm gonna try and see if I can join from my laptop so I can properly at least moderate, even though I'm a guest.